dinner with his lawyer and himself, and we chatted about what I wanted him to do, a couple movies, and then came back again, and he was in Cannes. He drove up.
Explosions fade. Box office numbers are forgotten. But partnerships, real partnerships, they endure. Jerry Bruckheimer doesn't cast actors. He forges legends. There's a difference between hiring talent and building mythology. And for over 4 decades, Bruckheimer has understood that difference better than anyone in Hollywood. He doesn't work with noise. He works with precision. His films live in the space between spectacle and soul, where million-dollar stunts mean nothing without the right person at the center of the chaos. Bruckheimer doesn't just make movies. He builds worlds. And in those worlds, only a few actors have ever truly belonged. The ones who stayed didn't just survive his demanding vision. They elevated it. They brought something deeper than charisma, stronger than star power. They brought trust, the kind of trust that turns a producer-actor relationship into creative fusion, the kind that makes legends. When Bruckheimer calls, these 6 don't ask about the budget or the script. They ask when to show up, because they know something the rest of Hollywood learned too late. In Bruckheimer's arena, you don't just act, you become a myth. Here are the 6 actors who entered Jerry Bruckheimer's world and never left his orbit. 6. Johnny Depp. Most producers play it safe. Jerry Bruckheimer bet everything on a pirate who talked like a rock star.
These things actually happened. These people actually were possessed. And just the way he...
When Johnny Depp walked onto the set of Pirates of the Caribbean in 2003, he wasn't just playing Jack Sparrow. He was inventing him. Keith Richards meets Pepe Le Pew, slurred speech, swaggering walk, gold teeth gleaming. The studio executives panicked. They wanted Depp fired. Bruckheimer said no. In interviews, Bruckheimer recalled the moment he knew Depp was right. He wasn't reading lines. He was channeling something ancient, something wild. Pirates weren't supposed to be pretty. They were supposed to be alive. While Disney executives demanded explanations, Bruckheimer gave Depp space. No interference, no second guessing, just trust. The gamble paid off beyond anyone's imagination. Jack Sparrow became more than a character. He became a cultural phenomenon. 4 films, billions in revenue, and one of cinema's most iconic performances. But the real story wasn't the money, it was the creative courage. Depp later said Bruckheimer was the only producer who never asked him to tone it down. Never asked him to explain the choices, just watched, trusted, and protected the vision from studio interference. That's rare in Hollywood. That's rarer than box office gold. Their partnership proves something essential about Bruckheimer's genius. He doesn't just manage talent, he unleashes it. Sometimes the biggest risks create the biggest legends. And sometimes, when you trust an actor's instincts completely, they give you immortality. 5. Denzel Washington. Some actors bring star power. Denzel Washington brings gravity. When Jerry Bruckheimer cast him in Crimson Tide in 1995, he wasn't just hiring an actor. He was elevating his entire film. Bruckheimer had built his career on spectacle, but with Denzel, he discovered something deeper.
You know, kind of reminiscing on my career over the last 40 years, and hopefully there's a lot more to come.
Soul. Their first collaboration was a masterclass in mutual respect. Crimson Tide wasn't just a submarine thriller. It was a chess match between 2 titans, Denzel and Gene Hackman, trapped underwater with nuclear weapons. Bruckheimer later said watching Denzel work was like watching a surgeon.
Well, we decided to shoot the movie in the Bronx because that's where it takes place. It gives the film real verisimilitude, which we love.
Every gesture is deliberate. Every line weighted with purpose. What made their partnership unique wasn't just the quality, it was the transformation. Bruckheimer, known for explosive action sequences, found himself slowing down for Denzel's moments, letting silence breathe, trusting dramatic pauses over rapid cuts. Remember, the Titans in 2000 proved their range together. Bruckheimer stepped away from his comfort zone, pure blockbuster territory, to tell a story about integration and hope. Denzel didn't just play Coach Boone, he embodied leadership itself. The film became both a commercial success and a cultural touchstone. In interviews, Bruckheimer often says Denzel makes everyone around him better. Directors sharpen their focus. Co-stars elevate their game. Crews work harder. There's an invisible standard Denzel sets just by showing up, fully prepared, completely committed. Their collaborations were limited but impactful. Quality over quantity, because when you have Denzel Washington in your film, you don't need to chase spectacle. You already have something better. You have the truth. And in Jerry Bruckheimer's world of explosions and excess, truth becomes the most powerful special effect of all. 4. Tom Cruise. When perfectionism meets perfectionism, you get Top Gun. Jerry Bruckheimer didn't just cast Tom Cruise in 1986. He found his creative twin. Two men who don't know the meaning of good enough. Two obsessives who turned a simple Navy recruitment story into the defining action film of a generation. Their partnership began with jets and never touched the ground. Cruz wasn't just playing Maverick. He was becoming him. Real planes, real G-forces, real danger. While other actors used stunt doubles, Cruz insisted on authenticity. Bruckheimer didn't just allow it, he demanded it.
You got to do it for real, and Joe wanted to do it for, just like we did Top Gun. You know, we had 6 cameras in the cockpit.
The producer later said watching Cruz prepare was like watching an athlete train for the Olympics. Every detail mattered. The way he wore the helmet, the angle of his salute, the timing of his smile. Cruz didn't just memorize lines, he absorbed the entire world. 36 years later, they proved lightning could strike twice. Top Gun Maverick wasn't just a sequel, it was a love letter to practical filmmaking. Real jets, real stunts, real commitment. While Hollywood embraced green screens, Bruckheimer and Cruz went the opposite direction. They chose danger over safety, authenticity over convenience. Behind the scenes, crew members described their dynamic as telepathic. A glance between them could change an entire sequence. A nod could approve $1 million reshoot. No arguments, no ego battles. Just shared vision executed with military precision. Cruz once said he doesn't make movies with Jerry. He makes statements, and the statement is clear. In an industry built on compromise, some partnerships refuse to settle. They chase perfection instead, frame by frame, flight by flight, forever. 3. Shan Connory. Some actors you direct, legends you collaborate with. When Jerry Bruckheimer cast Shan Connory in The Rock in 1996, he wasn't just hiring James Bond. He was bringing cinematic royalty into his explosive playground. At 66, Connery could have coasted. Instead, he chose to remind everyone why he was still the gold standard.
He loved driving those cars. They're exhilarating. The way they corner, they get down low, and they stick to the train. It's just amazing to watch it.
Bruckheimer had never worked with an actor of Connery's caliber. The man who defined cool for 3 decades, now stepping into a Michael Bay-directed action spectacle. The producer later admitted he was nervous. How do you tell a legend what to do? The answer was simple: you don't. On set, Connery commanded respect without demanding it. While explosions erupted around him, he remained unshakable. Crew members describe watching him work as masterclass theater. Every line delivery was precise. Every gesture is economical. No wasted motion, no unnecessary drama. The chemistry between Connery and Nicolas Cage became the film's secret weapon. 2 different generations, 2 completely different approaches to acting, yet they clicked instantly. Bruckheimer said watching them together was like seeing a master craftsman teach a brilliant student. Connery elevated everyone in his orbit. What made their single collaboration legendary wasn't just the performance, it was respect. Bruckheimer adapted his typically demanding style to honor Connery's process. Fewer takes, more trust, less interference. The result was Connery's final great action role, delivered with the kind of effortless authority that made him irreplaceable. They never worked together again, but they didn't need to. One film was enough to prove that when you combine Bruckheimer's spectacle with Connery's gravitas, you don't just get entertainment, you get cinema gold. 2. Nicolas Cage. In a world of calculated blockbusters, Nicolas Cage brings genuine surprise. Jerry Bruckheimer discovered this in 1996 when he cast Cage in The Rock, beginning one of Hollywood's most unlikely and successful partnerships. While other producers saw Cage's eccentricity as a risk, Bruckheimer saw it as rocket fuel.
And he just recently, Will gave him credit, for making him a movie star because he convinced Will to take off.
Their collaboration defied conventional wisdom. Cage wasn't your typical action hero. He was quirky, unpredictable, intense in ways that made studio executives nervous. But Bruckheimer understood something crucial. In the middle of explosions and chaos, you need an actor who can't be contained by the mayhem. You need someone as unpredictable as the spectacle itself. The Rock proved their chemistry instantly. Cage's neurotic FBI agent, paired with Shan Connery's weathered convict, created magic. While Connery brought gravitas, Cage brought electricity. Bruckheimer later said directing Cage was like conducting lightning. You don't control it, you just point it in the right direction. Con Air cemented their partnership. Cage's Cameron Poe, complete with bizarre accent and flowing hair, should have been ridiculous. Instead, it became iconic. Bruckheimer gave Cage complete freedom to find the character, no matter how strange the journey. The result was pure Cage, amplified by Bruckheimer's spectacle. National Treasure took their collaboration in a different direction. Cage, as historian-adventurer Benjamin Franklin Gates, proved his range within Bruckheimer's universe. 2 films, billions in revenue, and a character that worked because Cage committed completely. Their secret wasn't taming Cage's intensity, it was weaponizing it. While other directors tried to contain his energy, Bruckheimer learned to harness it. The result was controlled chaos. Beautiful, profitable, unforgettable chaos. 1. Will Smith. There are partnerships and then there's alchemy. When Jerry Bruckheimer cast Will Smith in Bad Boys in 1995, he wasn't just launching an action franchise. He was discovering his perfect equation: charisma plus reliability, star power plus work ethic, box office gold that never tarnished. Their bond began with a handshake and a promise. Smith, transitioning from rap and television, needed to prove he could carry a blockbuster. Bruckheimer needed an actor who could make dialogue sing between explosions. What they found was something rarer than box office success. They found creative trust. Bad Boys wasn't just Smith's action debut. It was Bruckheimer's discovery of his ideal leading man.
And we did a test, which was very funny. Different movie, obviously. And then Dana decided he didn't want to do it. This was over Christmas and so on.
Smith brought natural timing that couldn't be taught, charm that couldn't be manufactured, and most importantly, a work ethic that matched Bruckheimer's legendary demands. No complaints, no ego, just results. The partnership evolved through 3 decades. Bad Boys 2 proved their chemistry deepened with time. Enemy of the State showed Smith's dramatic range within Bruckheimer's universe. Each collaboration reinforced the same truth. Smith never phones it in, even when the paycheck could justify laziness. Their most recent Bad Boys film, released nearly 30 years after their first, proved some partnerships transcend business. They've become family. Smith doesn't just star in Bruckheimer films, he anchors them. In a business built on temporary alliances, they've created something permanent. They've created a legacy. Jerry Bruckheimer never talks about favorites. He talks about trust. 6 actors who entered his arena and proved themselves worthy. They didn't just survive his vision, they elevated it. Some partnerships are business, these became legends.